award, and it actually got into the competition. And it was a real honour for it to be at the National Portrait Gallery and everything. And it was kind of the first time I made a painting that was just about something that I didn't overthink. Just like, I'm going to paint my granddad. And it was a real amazing sign for me that I was doing something right when it got into the National Portrait Gallery. So this is obviously my grandfather. His name's Jed Edge, and he worked at Smithfield's Meat Market for 40 years. And in his spare time, he was an animal handler. And you'd go around his flat as a kid, it was incredible. He'd have like snakes, tarantulas, lizards. You know, even once we went around, they had a little tiger cub. He had a friend in the circus who used to drop it over and let him look after it. Komodo dragon on one occasion. But anyway, he got quite a reputation in his area. Like, you know, he lived in a council flat full of all these animals, which was crazy. And it went on to amazing things. He ended up actually supplying snakes for the Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know, the famous snake pit scene. So we could please have the next slide, Lizzie, thank you. So really, I think growing up around all these eccentric family members that would tell me these unbelievably incredible stories. And also I think everyone in their family has these stories that gets passed down, and you treasure them, and they're part of your family identity. So just to kind of go through some of the people. So here's my granddad at Smithfield's Meat Market. With me posing with some dead dogs. And Mad Edgy, he was known as. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. And you know, he used to tell me incredible stories about, you know, they used to nick like lorry loads of meat. They'd, you know, cocky apprentices would come in and try and fight with the older guys, so they had this almost initiation process. So they'd say, well, you hold a dog end like that, and I'm going to cut it in half. It's like my party trick. And they'd actually take the tips of their fingers off and put it in their hand and go to Bart's hospital and get them sewn back on. And then they'd come back with their fingers sewn back on and a little less cocky.
So, apprenticeship.
Yeah, so obviously, and the most amazing story, and also my granddad went to school with like the gangster Freddie Foreman, would tell me all these amazing old gangster stories. So I just loved hearing all these stories. And obviously the most amazing of all was when he worked on Indiana Jones. And my dad actually worked with him on the film and was part of the art department as well. And during the snake pit scene, the lead actress refused to walk through the snake pit. And my dad was really thin and slender, and he obviously grew up in a household of snakes. So he shaved his legs and wore a dress and walked through. Yeah. So there's a shot of him walking through. And this is my dad with his pet monkey Snuff on set as Harrison Ford. And at the time they also had a chimpanzee living in their flat in Brixton, and he used to apparently jump off the balcony onto a milk float that was passing and shake it and scare the crap out of the milkman. And then we also had an amazing other family in Canada that were native, you know, Native Americans, Native Canadians of the Tsleil-Waututh Nation. And this is my cousin who's sadly dead now. We know him as an uncle, but Leonard. And his dad was the famous cowboy actor. He was an Indian actor, but famous cowboy actor, and he was in like Outlaw Josie Wales, and what was the other one? Little Big Man. And he was called Chief Dan George. So this is Chief Leonard George, and this is my cousin Gabriel. And they used to come over and perform all these like amazing songs for us and rituals. It used to be absolutely incredible. I should bring them here one time next time they're over to sing. And you know, I loved it, and I was like blown away from it. But I was also quite jealous because I felt like their culture was so ancient and interesting, and ours felt like 5 minutes old. And it was like, I wish I had a culture like that. But actually, what I didn't know, which I found out a bit later, was how wrong I was. And actually, in England, we have this unbelievable, thriving native culture. And you know, growing up, my granddad was obsessed with the Green Man, so I was always kind of interested in this idea of like, you know, pagan things. And I was reading about folklore. And what I loved about folklore was the way that these stories were like really important to different regions and the identities of places and people and their traditions. And it was just like that in my family. You had these stories that everyone would tell. And like one uncle would tell me a story and it would have one family member at the centre of it. Then I'd be told the same story by another uncle and it would have a different family member, but it was the same story. So I loved the way that the stories transcended people and they just became folklore in itself, family lore I call it. And so that really resonated with me when I first got interested in folklore. So I think that's really exactly what you're seeing on the walls. These are traditions that are living and breathing. And on the floor, obviously. Living, breathing traditions that generations and generations have taken part in, and they kind of added things to. They don't know the origins anymore, but they'll make their own one up. They'll speculate. So they're living, breathing things. There's no official history. it's a folk history, folklore, and that is why I've become interested, I believe, and it's why I feel like I was almost the right person to do it because of my background, and it just felt natural to me. So what I want to do next is show some films. It's going to be about 25 minutes, so if anyone, don't feel, if you want to sit down, grab chairs and get beers and drinks, don't feel stuck to the spot. A woman called Aunt Ursula, as part of this song they sing, gathered all the women, all this grotesque marsh she had, and got them all to dress in capes and went up to the hills and banged drums. And the French ship retreated, believing it was a heathen army with a devil in its head. So that's one story. And also there's another story that this mask came. There's in Africa. There's these people called tuk-tuk dancers, and there's records of a sailor called Octavius Branton going to this region and perhaps bringing back the mask and introducing it to an already existing. And it's all about death and rebirth. So this is the death of winter, and it's quite emotional. People cry. They're all in the town. You either wear red necktie or blue necktie. It's like football teams. Like big families fall out over which side you should pledge your allegiance to. So this is now the kind of ritual where it's like the coming of summer, and there's a roar in the town. It's a kind of, I think it's Kid wants to sing. And this is the mind-blowing, like I was talking about earlier when you felt jealous that you didn't have your own native culture. To see this, it was like, wow, this is England, that I didn't know existed. So it's just literally a whole day now of this, celebrating from 7:30 in the morning they come out. They used to catch, well they still do it, they catch women under the skirt, and women want to be caught because it means that you'll be married by winter. It's been banned now, which is sexist, but they still do it.
It should be like national costume.
Yeah, pirates, yeah. So now they parade through the town, so I think that's the end of that footage. So this is Castle and Garden Day, which relates to this painting that you may have seen down here. So this is literally a man dressed as a giant flower.
Wow.
And the belief, well, why this happened, there used to be a public holiday in England called Oak Apple Day. And what this was about was when the monarchy fell, Charles II hid in an oak apple tree to hide from the Roundhead rebel army. So when the monarchy did finally get reinstated in 1660, I think it was, they celebrated it all over England. And if you didn't wear sprigs of oak, you got whipped with stinging nettles, or you got egged, or you got attacked. So everybody in this town still does it. So it was stopped in like 1857, but this town still celebrated it. But no one quite knows why. Some people think it's an old pagan tradition merged, and that's why it's got the big flower. But actually someone last night I was speaking to suggested maybe it was like originally just a little something to suggest he was hiding in a tree maybe, and it evolved. And then at the end of the day they hoist it to the top of the church where it sits for the rest of the year. And yeah. Yeah. So all these things you know, the more you see, the more you can't quite believe what's going on across the country. So this is the mock still happening and thriving. This is the mock mayor of Oxford. You may have noticed the painting over there at the back. So basically, in this town, Abingdon in Oxfordshire, there used to be a horse fair, and every year there would be a big ox roast in the market square. And there's two sides of town: Ox Street, where the peasants kind of lived, and then the other side of town was where the vineyard, where the richer, like the well-to-do people lived. And every year the well-to-do people got to take home the horns as a kind of part of the ritual day. But one year the peasants rebelled, saying it's not fair, it's hypocrisy, and they snatched the horns. And now this group of people, that their fathers did it and their fathers, they parade the horns to celebrate that victory, ever since the year 1700. Yeah. A little Morris dancing team. And this was a lady that won the lottery, £6 million, and she now funds the whole event. She loves it. She gives drinks. Yeah. She's got no teeth. And then at the end of the day, a mock mayor's event.
Doesn't want to spend money on the teeth.
So this is the Bury man. This is the Bury man that relates to this painting in the middle here. So this is in a fishing community in just outside Edinburgh called South Queen Street, the Bury man. And there's records of this tradition taking place in other Scottish towns. So a man's covered in thurrock seeds from head to toe, and he parades through the town. And people take burrs and give him whiskey to ease his pain and burden. He can't go to the toilet and his skin gets scratched. And in exchange, they get burrs that bring good luck to them for the year. Here we go. By the end of the day, he's slaughtered.
Well, literally.
Yeah. So he's now visiting houses. Yeah. So and they get the burrs. And this was apparently in the fishing community when fishing was bad. When fishing was bad, they brought out the Bury man because it raised the herring. They believe it was like a peasant superstition. So, and it happened in other fishing communities, but that's all died out. So this is the last of it now in front of the Floor Bridge. This is one of my favourite ones because it's just so surreal. So this is the Abbots Bromley horn dance. This is and the people in Abbots Bromley believe this is the oldest of all in England traditions that have still kept going. And strangely, they kept in the church these strange, like animal heads with antlers coming out. And what they are is reindeer antlers. And these men, it's like a Maid Marian, a hobby horse, a fool, and various dancers. They parade these horns around the town. And it used to take a week, but now they use a car so you can get around quicker. It takes they're always claiming this was the oldest tradition, and people were arguing, saying no, it's not. So they got the horns carbon dated, and they're actually dated to the year 1065.
Wow.
So they're older than the Battle of Hastings, which seems to be a remarkable history.
That's fantastic.
And this is the Baggots, who are a local aristocratical family that they fund this event. They give food to all the performers.
Arian's great, isn't he?
Yeah. And they keep the paupers aren't allowed in, the average people. So on the other side is all like the gentry, and then just your average people stand on the other side and watch. I got a hitch ride with them in their open van to get to the next spot because it's a long way. And then so the dance just goes on for about 10 hours really. That's the next generation of boy. Yeah. So this is the autumn equinox. My friend down here is part of this ceremony. He's a druid and artist, fellow artist. Cool. So this is a 300-year-old ceremony, a bit older now, 301 years old is it? And it's called the Mother's Grove, they call it Primrose Hill. And William Blake was one of the founding members of this druid order, so I'm told. And they perform this every year. So there's Paul. So I've got really interested in the druids and have been coming to this. Davey comes with me to these as well, Harrison. And they're really fascinating to watch and quite interesting to hear. And I'd recommend anyone going to everyone to witness it and to experience it.
It's quite spiritual, isn't it?
Yeah. It's really spiritual. And that day was just an incredible day. And that's why I based the painting on as they walked down this painting here. I actually changed the sky because I was once walking on Primrose Hill and there was a big hole in the sky, and I just got back from Rome and it looked like the Pantheon. And I thought it's like the Druids' temple here, so I tried to make it like a natural Pantheon. So this is October Plenty Festival that relates to this painting here, the Green Man. So this is the Green Man at Bankside on the Thames. And this is a fairly new tradition, but they combine lots of old customs. So you have like Morris dancing, mummers, And they're all quite good singers because they're all actors as well. So this is the Corn Dolly Queen, and in medieval times these were paraded.
Oh, wow.
These were paraded in kind of different kind of festivals, and they handed out at the end, and so food would be dispersed amongst the poor as part of like celebration at the end. It was a windy day. And there we are, that's them handing it out at the end. And then at the end of the day, the procession goes to a graveyard. Has everyone heard of it called the Crossbone Graveyard? Where it's like, it's all unmarked grave. It's like a slum where like prostitutes and sex workers were buried. And this man's really passionate here, he sings this song about keeping these people's memories alive.
It's John Constable, isn't it?
Do you know him? Yeah.
Where is it?
It's just like...
It's off Borough High Street.
Yeah.
Who is that man singing?
Right, so sorry to move on. This is the tar barrels. There's actually a small image of a man having a tar barrel. So this is a tradition in Devon. Yeah, where it's called the flaming tar barrels.
Wow.
Yeah, so kids are actually forced to do this. Kids cry, they don't want to do it, but the dads are forced to do it. Yeah, so then it gets bigger and bigger and the men do it. And what you aspire to is to do the midnight barrel, which is like a 2-ton barrel.
Oh my God!
And,
Oh my God!
women do it too, it's not just purely macho thing. And it's all about, originally they believed, it used to happen all over England to cleanse the streets of evil spirits, because at the time of Halloween it was called Samhain originally, where they believed that the veil between the world of the dead and the world of the living was thin.
Oh.
So the spirits could wander back and forth. So if they lit bonfires, it kept them out, evil ones out. So this is, they believe, the continuation of that. So it's absolutely crazy. It's dangerous filming it. I'm black. So,
I thought I had problems.
yes, it's just carnage. It's like lawless. So this is what's saving the apple tree, and this is a really ancient custom. It goes right back to like Anglo-Saxon times. So in cider drinking regions, people get together to bless the apple trees to ensure like a bountiful cider harvest. And how they do this is to sing songs and scare off any evil spirits they believe will interfere with the harvest. And they fire guns over the top of the trees and make loud noises that you'll see in a minute to scare them off. They also tie toast to the tree to attract robins that eat all the bugs and anything that could damage the apples. This is in Worthing, just near Brighton. So that's them firing cat guns over it. They're usually real guns, I'm sure. So yeah, that's wassailing, which is it's a custom that happens all over the country actually. So this is the Whittlesea Straw Bear Festival. So this basically
That's really good.
So they think that this tradition relates back to medieval times. So they think that this relates to medieval times with the dancing bears that eventually got outlawed and they replaced them with straw. But another theory, and that all the people in the town stand by, is that the ploughboys, during the tough months of winter, used to actually go and bribe people practically. They'd have their straw bear and they'd have them, they would ruin your lawn if you didn't give them beer and food. So it was a way of kind of getting through the tough months of winter if you're a ploughboy. So, and this is a festival now in Whittlesea which celebrates. He's got his knife. So this is the Chapsdale Wassail and Mary Lloyd, and that's the little kind of painting there with the head of a horse's skull. So this is where they actually, a lot of folklorists believe that this is where Christmas carol singing originated. Because they used to go around Christmas time in the Welsh valleys to houses. They would have a party of people with walking this
Wow.
Mary Lloyd around.
Oh, wow.
Where's that again?
That's amazing.
Chepstow in Wales.
I was in Wales.
Yeah, and so they go house to house and sing songs, and the yeah, and the people in the house would sing songs back, and whoever won, it was like a battle of wits. If they won, they'd be allowed in to have all their food and wine and stuff. So this is a form of wassail too, so they're blessing the apple trees, so they're combining other customs too. It's quite an incredible day, another one I recommend, and that's the castle, which is great. And this is Chepstow, it's right on the English border. So after a full day of celebration, you march to the border, which is over a bridge. This is the procession. You actually understood how you could get ready for battle doing this, because they're now on their way to England, so like, have a Morris dance off with them. But, so they meet on a bridge. There's the English. And a friend of mine here, he has that on. He said I was a traitor for your welfare.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
So they have a Morris off. Sing Oggy Oggy. Yeah, and that's the Morris tradition of blackface, which is really controversial now because people say it's racist, but actually it's nothing to do with that. It's disguising and hiding from either your employer, who you shouldn't be out doing this kind of thing, or actually evil spirits, which was a big thing back in medieval times. So this is the Grimaldi church service, another one that David comes with me to. And this is the church, this is the annual clowns church service. Oh really? Oh wow. So it's, there you go. No, it's good. This is the annual clown. So there was a clown in like the 1700s called Joey Grimaldi, and he invented modern clowning as we know it today. Like it was very different before, and he made it into tricks and kind of entertaining children. And so now they meet every year to honour him, and also honour all the clowns that have died over the past year. So they bless all the clowns that have passed away.
And he's just buried down the road, you know.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah. And they used to keep in the church nearby that's unfortunately gone. They used to keep the clown's egg register, which is where every clown in England paints a boiled egg with its face on as a way of trademarking. Which David actually did a show here, I believe, about a while ago. So,
what's the collective noun for this?
yeah. So this is the priest now. He blesses everybody that that dedicates their life to making people laugh. Yeah.
It's alright.
So this is the Bay Cup retain. I'm actually going there next week to see these guys again. And this is basically the story of these guys is that Moorish pirates settled in Cornwall, and during the 1700s the mining industry collapsed there and they moved to Lancashire. So they now moved up to Lancashire and brought this dance with them. There used to be all sorts of towns in that area, villages, that did this dance. They're all coal miners. So there's theories whether it was the guising tradition or whether it was just they carried on looking like the people that on their lunch breaks that used to dance it, because that's how they all looked when they were going down the mines. So they literally just dance through the town for like, I think it's about a 10-hour day. And you follow them all around. They're the Bay Cup coconutters. It's making really serious. And it's a real rough town. Like it's an old mining town, so it's like, and all the industries collapse, there's no jobs there, and they're all really friendly people, and they take it so seriously. It's a really great thing to visit. Wow, very surreal.
It's really good.
So this is what a lot of the town's like, sort of just gets closed down. This is why I really enjoy filming upright, even though you're told not to, because you can get these great...
Yeah.
So that's the Bay Cup coconutters.
That was one in the middle of Bandy Lake.
Yeah. He said to me, I saw him again at another thing, he went, do you remember? He went, how can I fucking forget you? So this is Halliton Hare Pie Scramble. So, ironically, this game is maybe the reason we have rugby today. So, originally, there was a woman on a place called Harebank Hill and she was a woman of aristocracy. And she was walking across the field one day, and a bull nearly killed her, an angry bull ran, but a hare happened to interfere and stop it in its path. So she then paid the local kind of parish church to produce 2 big pies every year. They're not actually made of hare, but to commemorate the hare that saved her. And this is still going on today. She still left enough money for this to be carried on. So they meet and they throw the pie out, but they also have these things they call locally called bottles, but they're actually cakes. And people from the next village along, Medbourne, would run over and nick the cakes, and then the men would fight with them to get them back. And in the end, this game evolved into this. So they now meet on the field every year and they fight over these. And it's said that the guy that invented rugby, you know the famous story, the guy at the rugby public school picked up the ball and started running. He had apparently been there the Easter Monday before and was inspired by this game. So all because of that woman walking across the field inviting up rugby. But this is a violent game. This is scary. This one. It's a heavy thing. People get knocked out. They lose teeth.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah.
I was covered in mud. It was one of those. And people also, there's a really low crime rate in the area because everybody just waits. So you can get away with it. You can get away with it. You can knock something out and have no repercussions. So this is just a sign of how violent this game is. Watch this.
Oh dear.
You've never seen anything like this. When you're there, the atmosphere of it.
So it's just last man standing?
Oh!
Yeah, well the game is, I couldn't work out the rules, but you have to get these cakes to a goalpost, but I have no idea what the goalpost is. But people get yeah, and this happens over Easter weekend. I'm going next weekend to this, next bank holiday. This guy, he saved me a few times. If you're stuck underneath, you're in trouble. And people do, they get completely unconscious. Unconscious. Yeah. At the end, it's just people strewn out all over the floor. They're being taken to various ambulances. There's no police yet. It's just paramedics, no police. It's really strange. He broke his leg that time. Yeah. So that's, I think there's one more. This is it now. So this is Saddleworth Rushcart. I thought I'd better put something to cheer everyone up after seeing that violence. So this happens in a place called Saddleworth. Oh, maybe we can get the door. Yeah, thanks. Don't worry, he's getting it busy. Yeah, totally. So this is Saddleworth Rushcart. So in this area called Saddleworth, in churches it was a custom to put straw. It's like a thing called a rush. It's like a type of straw down on cold metal or cold stone floors of churches, so worshippers' knees when you get too cold. And it's a bit like a kind of ancient version of Rude Boy Racers. You know, they get really drunk, of course, all the modern songs are plugged in. So each town started competing who could have the most over-the-top rush car. So they started becoming things with jockeys on top and people riding it through the town. And it's the biggest event in the Morris dancing calendar, where hundreds of Morris dancers turn up from all over the country and drag it. Patrick, you're late. You
wasn't there the fest?
Yeah, so, hey, you're right. So they drag this huge rush cart around to the church, and it's the people in front drag it, the people behind, and look, he nearly gets taken off by the tree. Yeah, so. Yeah, it's just insane. And then they go down to the church and lay the rushes on the floor. It was a miserable day. Yeah, and that's it.